There are places in the world where light itself seems to carry a special character, soft yet radiant, golden yet gentle. Provence in the south of France is one of those places. Here sunshine falls across rolling hills, stone villages and fields of lavender, with a warmth that is both soothing and inspiring. Painters, poets and travelers have long been drawn to this landscape, where every horizon seems painted with a brush dipped in calm. The rhythm of Provence is unhurried, as though time itself has agreed to move more slowly. Villages built of honey-colored stone bask quietly on hilltops, their red-tiled roofs glowing in the afternoon sun. Market stalls fill narrow streets with the scents of olives, fresh herbs and ripe fruit, while cicadas sing in the background like nature's lullaby. It is a region where beauty is not rare but constant, woven into daily life with effortless grace. As evening settles, the sky softens to pastels of rose and lavender, reflecting the colors of the fields that stretch across the countryside. Vineyards glow with the last light of day, and shutters close on ancient stone houses as calm settles over the villages. Provence offers not only sights and scents, but a feeling of serenity, of timelessness, of belonging. It is a place where one can wander into dreams, guided by the golden glow of the south of France. Welcome to Bedtime Travel Stories, where soothing tales and gentle narrations take you on a tranquil journey through the world's most enchanting places, right from the comfort of your bed. Unwind and travel with us as we explore the globe one story at a time, helping you relax and drift into a peaceful sleep. In the heart of Provence, the lavender fields awaken like oceans of violet waves, rolling gently under the summer sun. Each stalk sways in rhythm with the breeze, releasing a fragrance so calming it feels as if the air itself is infused with serenity. The fields stretch endlessly, their neat rows flowing into the horizon, leading the eye to stone farmhouses standing proudly against the blue sky. Walking among the blooms, one is enveloped by the soft hum of bees, working with tireless devotion to gather nectar. The harmony of their buzzing blends with the whisper of the wind, creating a natural symphony that seems designed to slow the heart and quiet the mind. Here time is measured not by minutes, but by the unfolding of blossoms and the lengthening of shadows across the hills. The villages surrounding these fields carry the same timeless rhythm. In places like Valençole, the streets are filled with little shops offering lavender soaps, oils, and honey, each product a fragrant reminder of the fields outside. Stone fountains trickle in quiet squares, and shutters painted in pale greens and blues open to welcome the summer light. At midday, the sun casts a golden glow over the violet carpets, illuminating them in dazzling contrast. Visitors pause to take in the view, their voices soft, almost hushed, as though they too have been touched by the tranquility of the landscape. Painters unfold their easels at the edges of the fields, brushing the endless lines of purple into scenes that will later hang on walls far from here, carrying with them a piece of Provence's soul. Beyond the sensory beauty lies the history of lavender itself. For centuries, the people of Provence have cultivated it, using it to perfume linens, flavor foods, and heal ailments. To walk these fields is to walk through a living tradition, one that has endured from Roman times to the present. It is not simply a plant, but a symbol of the region's enduring connection to nature. Evening deepens the magic of the lavender fields. As the sun begins its descent, the rows of violet take on richer tones, glowing against skies of orange and rose. The cool air gathers the fragrance into a denser, almost tangible presence, wrapping travelers in a calm embrace as they linger a little longer before departing. Children play among the fields, chasing each other down the narrow paths between rows, their laughter rising like bright notes against the steady hum of insects. Families spread blankets for picnics, the scent of fresh bread, cheese and wine mingling with the lavender in the breeze. Each moment feels painted with peace, etched into memory by light and fragrance. As dusk settles, fireflies emerge, flickering softly above the blossoms like stars that have descended to earth. The lavender fades into shadow, but its scent remains, lingering in the air, lingering in the spirit. This is not just a field of flowers. It is a sanctuary where earth, sky, and soul find perfect harmony. And when one departs, the fragrance clings to clothing and hair, a gentle reminder that Provence has a way of staying with you long after you have left its sunlit fields behind. Perched high above the valleys, the hilltop villages of Provence seem almost timeless, their honey-colored walls glowing in the embrace of the sun. From afar they appear like crowns resting gently on the hills, with winding streets spiraling toward church towers that stand watch over the land. Each village tells a story of centuries lived slowly, where the rhythm of life has always matched the turning of the seasons. Walking into Gordes, one feels transported into a living painting. The cobblestone lanes curve and climb, bordered by stone houses with wooden shutters, painted in hues of sky blue and sage green. Flowers spill from window boxes, and the scent of rosemary and thyme drifts from doorways where meals are being prepared. Every corner reveals a glimpse of the Luberon Valley below, stretching wide under the Provençal sun. Further east lies Roussillon, where the earth itself is painted with colors of fire. The ochre cliffs glow in shades of red, orange, and gold, and the houses are built to mirror the earth around them. Walking here, one feels embraced by the very palette that inspired painters who came seeking light. Each step stirs dust that glows in the afternoon sun, and even the walls seem to radiate warmth. These villages are more than just beautiful. They are alive with community. Elderly men play pétanque in shaded squares, their laughter echoing against stone walls. Market stalls fill narrow streets with baskets of olives, local cheeses, and fresh bread, while children dart between fountains, their games carrying on as they have for generations. The villages are not frozen in time, but gently carried by it. From the ramparts of Menerbes, the view is wide and calm, taking in vineyards, lavender fields, and the distant outline of mountains. Silence here is profound, broken only by the rustle of leaves and the quiet footsteps of travelers. Artists linger, sketching rooftops and valley lines, capturing the way the light bends around the stone. It is a silence that holds presence, not emptiness. Evenings bring another layer of beauty. As the sun dips, shadows stretch across the hills, and the villages glow softly, lanterns flickering to life in winding streets. The air cools, carrying with it the scent of jasmine and warm bread from village bakeries. Families gather in small restaurants, clinking glasses of rosé while cicadas continue their song into the night. To stay in one of these villages is to experience stillness. Guest houses and small inns open their doors to travelers, offering quiet rooms with wooden beams and views that stretch to the horizon. Time slows further when the shutters are drawn back in the morning, and the first rays of sun illuminate tiled rooftops and distant fields in shades of gold. Legends linger in these places too. Stories of troubadours, artists, and farmers whose lives intertwined with the land. They whisper in the stones, reminding travelers that these villages are not simply monuments, but vessels of memory, carrying centuries of lives lived close to the earth. Here, high above the valleys, the villages of Provence offer more than beauty. They offer perspective. They remind us that life, when slowed, reveals its deepest richness in simple things. A shared meal, a sunset view, the laughter of friends echoing through narrow streets. There is no image more closely tied to Provence than the lavender fields that stretch like waves across its countryside. In summer, the air itself seems steeped in purple, the fragrance rising with the warmth of the sun. Rows of lavender roll toward the horizon in perfect symmetry, blending into the golden glow of wheat fields and the soft blue of distant hills. Standing amidst these fields, one feels wrapped in both color and scent, a harmony that calms the spirit. The village of Valensole is at the heart of this lavender dream. Here vast plateaus burst into bloom each June, creating a sea of violet that seems almost unreal under the midday sun. Farmers still work these fields much as they have for generations, harvesting blossoms that will become oils, soaps, and sachets, treasures carried far beyond Provence. The hum of bees fills the air, a reminder that these blooms sustain not just people but entire ecosystems. As the day wears on, the light transforms the fields. In the morning, they are cool and crisp, touched with silver dew. By afternoon, the rows glow vividly, their purples deepening under the sun's steady gaze. Evening is the most enchanting, when the golden light of sunset blends with lavender's hues to create horizons painted in fire and violet. Travelers linger at the edges of the fields, cameras set aside, simply watching as the colors shift and soften. Wandering through these fields brings a sense of timelessness. Stone chapels and old farmhouses dot the landscape, standing as they have for centuries among the flowers. Their weathered walls, softened by sun and seasons, seem to belong as much to the land as the blooms themselves. The scent of lavender drifts through open windows, mingling with the aroma of fresh bread baking within. Nearby distilleries invite visitors to see the process of transforming blossoms into oil. Copper stills gleam, and the air fills with steam infused with the essence of lavender. The process is ancient yet enduring, a reminder of how deeply the plant is woven into the culture of Provence. Tiny bottles filled with the purest oils are sold as keepsakes, essences of summer captured in glass. It is not only lavender that thrives here. Sunflowers stand proudly in neighboring fields, their golden heads turning with the arc of the sun. Together with lavender, they create a patchwork of yellow and violet that stretches as far as the eye can see. This union of colors is like a hymn to light itself, a visual chorus of warmth and beauty. Travelers often choose to stay in small farmhouses surrounded by these blooms. The evenings are peaceful, with shutters open to let in the cooling breeze and the scent of flowers. From a window, one can watch the last glow of sun over endless rows, the cicada's song marking the passage from day into night. There is a serenity here that feels almost eternal. Even as the seasons change and the blooms fade, the memory of these fields remains vivid in the hearts of those who have walked among them. Provence's lavender is more than a plant. It is a presence, a rhythm, a way of life shaped by fragrance and light. To wander through the lavender fields is to wander through a dream, one woven not only of color and scent, but of peace. It is here that Provence reveals its most tender voice, speaking softly to all who pause long enough to listen. History lies scattered across Provence like ancient whispers, carved in stone and shaped by time. Long before lavender fields stretched across the hills, this land was part of Rome's great frontier. Amphitheaters, arches, and aqueducts still stand, their weathered stones glowing warmly under the Mediterranean sun. Each tells a story of empire, of spectacle, and of life in a world that feels both distant and strangely close. In the city of Arles, the amphitheater rises with a commanding presence. Once filled with the roar of crowds and the clash of gladiators, it now holds a quieter life, hosting concerts and performances that echo with music instead of battle. Its arches curve elegantly, framing glimpses of the sky and the tiled roofs of the town. Walking through its tunnels and stands, one can almost hear the ghosts of an audience long gone. Nearby, the Roman Theatre of Orange still stands as one of the best preserved in Europe. Its grand stage wall towers high, carved with statues and patterns that seem to defy time itself. The theatre continues to be a place of gathering. Its stone seats filled each summer with audiences who come to hear music and opera carried by perfect acoustics. As the sun sets and the stage glows golden, the connection between past and present feels seamless. The Pont du Gard, an aqueduct that spans the Garden River, is another marvel. Built nearly 2,000 years ago, it remains a masterpiece of engineering, its arches reflected in the water below. Once it carried life-giving water to Nimes. Today it carries travelers into wonder. Standing beneath its immense arches, one feels both small and deeply connected to the ingenuity of those who built it. Provence's Roman legacy is not confined to grand monuments. Scattered through villages and fields, one finds fragments of columns, stones carved with Latin, and the remains of villas where mosaics still shine faintly with color. Farmers till fields where Roman roads once stretched, and vineyards grow on land once mapped by soldiers and settlers. The continuity of life here feels unbroken, a thread that ties modern Provence to its ancient past. In the heat of summer, cicadas sing even among these ruins, just as they must have in Roman times. The scent of pine and rosemary drifts on the breeze, mingling with the dusty warmth of old stone. It is a sensory reminder that history is not only written in books but felt through air, light and sound. Light. Travelers often pause at these sites not only for history but for rest. A bench beneath an olive tree near the amphitheatre in Arles becomes a place of stillness, where one can imagine the same tree shading visitors centuries ago. A glass of chilled rosé from a nearby cafe refreshes the traveler, connecting today's simple pleasures with the ancient rituals of gathering and sharing. As evening falls, golden light turns the stone a deeper hue. The monuments seem to glow from within, as though still warmed by centuries of life. To walk through these sites at dusk is to be caught between two worlds, the enduring memory of Rome and the living rhythm of Provence. In Provence, the Roman past is never far away. It lingers in the arches, in the roads, in the very layout of towns. It does not weigh heavily, but rests gently, as though history itself has decided to remain as a companion to the lavender and vineyards, part of the land's eternal song. Each village and town in Provence holds a rhythm of life that unfolds most vividly in its markets. Here the region's bounty is displayed with pride, a celebration of color, scent and flavor that brings people together as it has for centuries. The markets are not merely places to shop. They are gatherings of community where friends meet, conversations bloom, and the spirit of Provence shines. Stalls overflow with seasonal produce, each piece seeming to glow with its own intensity. Bright red tomatoes, plump and sun-ripened, sit beside pale green artichokes and baskets of peaches dusted with morning light. The fragrance of herbs fills the air, rosemary, thyme and basil, offered in fragrant bundles that seem to carry the very essence of the countryside. Lavender sachets and soaps mingle their perfume with the sweet scent of honey and fresh bread. Cheese stands draw visitors with their array of textures and aromas. From creamy rounds of chèvre rolled in herbs to firm tomes aged to perfection, each cheese tells of the land where it was made. Vendors offer samples with smiles, encouraging passers-by to taste and linger. It is not uncommon to see shoppers pause, savoring a morsel while chatting with the cheesemaker. The act of buying is much about connection as about flavor. The colors of Provence are perhaps most radiant at the market. The deep purples of olives glisten in wide bowls, while the golden hues of olive oil catch the light in glass bottles. Rows of flowers add their brightness, sunflowers, roses, and of course bundles of lavender swaying gently as people pass. The visual feast is matched by sound. The melodic calls of vendors, the chatter of neighbors, the clinking of glasses at nearby cafes. Baked goods tempt from stalls stacked with breads and pastries. Long baguettes with crisp crusts, fougasse fragrant with olives, and buttery croissants remind the visitor that even the simplest meal in Provence carries artistry. To buy a loaf of bread here is to take home more than food. It is to carry a piece of the culture's warmth and generosity. Wine often finds its place in these markets too, especially in towns surrounded by vineyards. Bottles of rosé with their delicate pink hues invite travelers to take a taste of the landscape itself. Local vintners speak with quiet pride, describing the soil, the sun, and the traditions that shape their craft. The wine is not simply sold, it is shared, as though it were a story poured into a glass. Amidst the stalls, the pace slows. Children tug at their parents' hands towards sweet stands filled with candied fruits, while older couples linger by spice cellars, inhaling the rich scent of saffron and cinnamon. Tourists wander with baskets in hand, delighting in each discovery, while locals go about their weekly rituals, weaving through the crowd with ease. Often the markets spill into shaded squares, where cafes wait with tables ready. Shoppers settle into chairs, setting down their baskets to sip coffee or wine, their morning of wandering turning into an afternoon of rest. The market becomes not only a place to gather food, but also to gather time, to pause in the sunshine and breathe the air of Provence. As the day continues, the stalls slowly fold away, leaving behind only traces of scent and color. Yet the memory lingers, the laughter, the flavors, the textures of the morning woven into the experience of Provence. The market is not simply a moment in the week, but a reminder that life here is lived with savor, one encounter at a time. The rolling hills of Provence are stitched with vineyards, their rows of vines stretching in patterns that echo the rhythm of the land. Under the golden sun, the grape leaves shimmer while clusters of fruit ripen slowly in the warm air. It is here that the story of Provençal wine begins, not in a cellar nor in a bottle, but in the soil, the light, and the hands that tend the vines. The most iconic of these wines is rosé, a delicate expression of the region's spirit. Its pale pink hue glows in the glass like captured sunlight, refreshing and subtle, with flavors that recall berries and herbs touched by salt air. To sip rosé in Provence is to taste the essence of summer light, bright and filled with warmth. Yet the region also offers reds and whites, each shaped by the land's diverse soils and microclimates, each with its own quiet story. Vineyards here are often family-run, passed down through generations with traditions that stretch back centuries. The winemakers speak of their vines as though they are old friends, nurtured through the years with patience and respect. Some vines grow on stony terraces, their roots digging deep into the earth, while others thrive in valleys brushed by Mediterranean breezes. The diversity of landscapes gives rise to an extraordinary range of wines, each with a character as distinct as the village it comes from. Visitors to Provence find not only wine, but also hospitality woven into the experience. Vineyards welcome guests for tastings, guiding them through rows of vines before pouring glasses beneath shaded pergolas. The act of tasting becomes more than sampling. It becomes an invitation to linger, to share stories, to understand how the land and the people intertwine in every bottle. The food of Provence, too, finds its harmony with the wine. Rosé pairs naturally with dishes infused with herbs, with grilled vegetables, and with the richness of tapenade spread on fresh bread. A glass of red might accompany daube provençale, a slow-cooked beef stew, or a hearty serving of lamb flavored with rosemary. White wines refresh alongside seafood drawn from the coast, completing the circle of earth and sea. As the day draws on, the vineyards shift in color, the light softening to gold, then pink, then violet. The air cools, carrying with it the faint aroma of the earth after the heat of the sun. Evening tastings often become moments of reflection as the visitor holds a glass and watches the vines fade into shadow, grateful for the beauty that fills the senses. Some vineyards keep their cellars open for tours, where rows of oak barrels slumber in dim light. The smell of aging wine fills the air, rich and full, a promise of what time will bring. Each barrel carries with it the memory of harvests past and the hope of future gatherings, a cycle that repeats endlessly with the rhythm of nature. Wine festivals punctuate the year in Provence, drawing locals and visitors alike to celebrate the harvest. Music, food, and laughter fill the squares as glasses are raised in toasts that honor both tradition and community. These festivals remind all who attend that wine here is more than a drink. It is a way of connecting, of sharing joy in simple moments. To taste wine in Provence is to embrace the land itself. Each sip is filled with the character of the hills, the warmth of the sun, and the spirit of those who tend the vines. It is an experience that lingers long after the glass is empty, carrying with it the memory of a place where life flows as gracefully as the wine it produces. No place in Provence is more closely tied to the senses than its fields of lavender and the gardens of herbs that grow wild across the countryside. In summer, the air itself becomes perfumed, carrying notes of sweet lavender, thyme, and rosemary, mingling with the resinous scent of sun-warmed pine. This fragrance is not fleeting. It lingers in memory, as much a part of Provence as the colors of its landscapes. Lavender is the heart of this perfume. Vast purple fields ripple across the valleys of the Luberon and the plateaus of Valensole, their blossoms buzzing softly with bees. The sight is breathtaking, but the fragrance is what truly captures the soul-calming, restorative, and timeless. Lavender is harvested for oils, soaps, and sachets, but beyond its uses, it remains a symbol of Provence itself. Walking among these fields, one feels the rhythm of the seasons. Summer brings the bloom, autumn the harvest, and winter the quiet rest of the land. Each cycle has its place, each breath of lavender reminding the visitor of nature's patient balance. Even when taken home in a small bag tucked into a drawer, the scent carries the memory of open skies and endless fields. Herbs of Provence too play their role in shaping the region's identity. Thyme, oregano, savory, and rosemary grow wild on rocky hillsides, filling the air with their pungent strength. These herbs are gathered by hand, bundled together and dried under the Provençal sun, ready to flavor the dishes of the land. With each pinch, the kitchen fills with the warmth of the countryside, connecting the cook to the hills and valleys where the herbs first grew. The markets overflow with these treasures, baskets of herbs sitting beside lavender bundles, and jars of honey flavored with thyme and wildflowers. Shoppers stop to inhale deeply, to feel the leaves between their fingers, to take home not just ingredients but the spirit of Provence. Cooking with these herbs becomes a sensory journey, each dish infused with the very fragrance of the land. Artisans across Provence transform these plants into products that extend beyond food. Lavender oils soothe the skin, herb-infused soaps bring freshness to daily rituals, and small bottles of perfume capture the essence of summer in a single drop. These crafts, handed down through families, ensure that the fragrance of Provence can be carried across the world. The connection between scent and memory is strong here. To walk through a lavender field is to feel peace settle within, to breathe in the quiet assurance of nature. To wander the hills where rosemary and thyme grow wild is to sense the strength and resilience of the land. These aromas embed themselves in memory, to be recalled long after the journey has ended. Even in the evening, as the sun sets and shadows lengthen, the fragrance of Provence remains. The cool air stirs the plants, releasing their oils in whispers of scent that rise like a lullaby. Visitors often find themselves pausing, closing their eyes, and breathing deeply as if to hold the moment forever in their hearts. Provence is remembered not only for its sights, but for its scents. Lavender, rosemary, and thyme create an invisible landscape that lingers as strongly as the colors of the hills. It is a fragrance that belongs entirely to this land, one that brings calm, joy, and a lasting connection to the spirit of Provence. The coast of Provence stretches like a luminous ribbon where the land meets the sea, a place where sunlight dances across the water and gentle waves whisper against the shore. The Mediterranean has always been part of the soul of this region, shaping its history, cuisine, and rhythm of life. From the rocky inlets of the Calanques to the sandy beaches near Cassis, the coastline offers a mosaic of landscapes that soothe both the eye and the spirit. As one approaches the Calanques, towering limestone cliffs rise from the turquoise sea, their surfaces glowing in the sun's embrace. Hidden coves reveal themselves only after winding trails or gentle boat rides, offering secluded spots where time slows and only the sound of the sea remains. Here the water is impossibly clear, reflecting every shade of blue from deep sapphire to pale aquamarine. It is a natural sanctuary, where even the air tastes of salt and freedom. In the fishing villages that line the coast, life unfolds with quiet rhythm. Nets are mended in the shade of colorful boats, and seafood markets awaken with the dawn, bringing the scent of the sea into every corner. A bowl of bouillabaisse, rich with saffron and fresh catch, carries centuries of tradition, warming both body and spirit. The flavors are bold yet balanced, reflecting the generosity of the land and sea together. Further west, Marseille hums with energy, its old port a living tableau of history and modernity. The city's narrow streets climb toward the Basilica of Notre-Dame de la Garde, from which one can gaze over a panorama of sea and rooftops. The air carries both the bustle of a cosmopolitan hub and the salt-kissed calm of the Mediterranean, a duality that gives Marseille its unique heartbeat. On quieter stretches of the coast, vineyards slope down to meet the sea, producing wines that taste of sun and salt. A glass of crisp white sipped on a shaded terrace seems infused with the very essence of the coast itself. Nearby, olive groves shimmer in the sea breeze, their silvery leaves whispering in harmony with the waves. It is a landscape where nature and cultivation exist in graceful balance. Evenings along the Provençal coast bring a spectacle of color. The horizon burns with amber and rose before softening into violet, the sea mirroring each hue as though reluctant to let them go. Lanterns glow along the promenades, and the sound of laughter drifts from small seaside cafes where music and conversation mingle with the tide. There is a gentleness to these nights, as if the coast itself were singing a lullaby. Travelers often linger here, lulled by the sea's eternal invitation, whether wandering through historic ports or resting in the shelter of a hidden cove. The coast of Provence offers a sense of timelessness, as though the sea has always waited with open arms. In every ripple, every gust of salty wind, one feels the promise of peace. It is no wonder that artists, poets, and dreamers have been drawn to this shore. The Mediterranean here is not simply a body of water, but a companion, reflecting the light of Provence back to the world. To stand at its edge is to understand the deep bond between land, sea, and soul, a bond that whispers softly to all who pause to listen. As the day stretches into its final hours, Provence reveals one of its most enchanting sights: lavender fields at dusk. The air cools, and a gentle breeze carries the fragrance of the blossoms, weaving through rows of purple that ripple like waves. Shadows grow longer across the hills, and the warm colors of sunset melt into the violet sea of blooms, creating a harmony of light and scent. Walking along these trails feels like drifting into a dream, each step slow and measured, each breath filled with calm. The hum of bees softens with the fading light, and the fields grow quieter, leaving only the sigh of the wind across the flowers. Villagers sometimes walk these paths too, pausing to watch the colors shift as the sky deepens into shades of pink, indigo, and gold. It is a communal yet solitary experience, for everyone here seems to drift inward, lulled into reflection by the scenery's serenity. Nearby, old stone farmhouses rest among olive groves, their shutters painted in shades of pale blue or green. Smoke rises gently from chimneys as kitchens prepare the evening meal. The scent of lavender mingles with garlic, rosemary, and olive oil, the fragrances carrying the story of Provençal life through the twilight. Small chapels, centuries old, often stand at the edge of these fields, their bells chiming softly as the hour grows late. Their weathered stones seem to absorb the lavender light, glowing gently against the horizon. These chapels are not grand, but they embody the quiet spirituality of Provence, rooted in simplicity, grounded in nature. Birdsong fades, replaced by the distant call of an owl. The lavender darkens as night approaches, no longer vibrant purple but muted tones of shadowed indigo. The fields become mysterious, inviting the imagination to wander, as though each row might lead to another story, another dream. Travelers walking the paths find themselves slowing, compelled to linger. There is no hurry here, no reason to move quickly, for the scene itself insists on stillness. Every breath of lavender-scented air is a reminder of the beauty of patience and the gentleness of time. The first stars appear, scattered across the soft blue of the evening sky. Their light falls faintly across the lavender fields, giving the flowers a silvery sheen. It is a scene both earthly and celestial, where sky and land meet in tranquil communion. For many, these twilight moments on the lavender trails are Provence itself, calm, fragrant, timeless. They linger in memory long after the fields are left behind, like a lullaby that continues to echo softly in the heart. The day draws to a close in Provence, where golden sunlight softens into the gentle hues of dusk. Lavender fields surrender their fragrance to the night air, and hilltop villages glow like lanterns against the deepening sky. It feels as though the entire region is whispering a lullaby of stillness, inviting the traveler to rest in its embrace. In the mind's eye, images linger, the sun filtering through vineyards, the quiet flow of ancient fountains, the laughter carried from village markets, and the taste of fresh bread still warm from the oven. These impressions do not fade with the fading light. They settle into memory, gentle and enduring like a cherished melody. And so Provence becomes not only a destination on a map, but a presence within the heart. A place of endless light, of scents and colors that comfort and inspire, of moments woven into time itself. As sleep approaches, Provence remains, timeless and tranquil, a dream that endures long after the journey has ended. We hope you enjoyed today's serene journey and found peace in our gentle narration. Do join us next time as we make a relaxing visit to another of the world's most iconic places. Sweet dreams and safe travels until we meet again.